Coach, I noticed against Arkansas, you guys played a little bit of zone. Is that something you may look at more to help the defensive efforts, or is that just more of a game flow and matchup situation?
You know, we played some zone throughout the season. Probably had more possessions of zone in that particular game. It's a little more of a junk look than an actual old school zone. Not to get into the weeds on it, but you know, when you're down like that and you're on the road, you're looking for something to disrupt them, get them out of the rhythm, and you know, it almost worked. You know, they struggled a few possessions, but in the end, they scored enough, obviously, to keep us at bay. But you know, who knows if it were required here, you know, down in Nashville or after that.
Go ahead, Benjamin, and then we'll go to Sam.
Coach Claudel had a really nice game on Saturday. Started knocking down some big shots for you. What have you noticed just out of him lately? I know he had a few rough performances prior to that in terms of just, you know, how he's been playing and looking out since he's been moving to that bench role. And where do you see him going forward?
Yeah, I think, you know, at this point in your career when you're in that position, and you know, he made a conscious move to go to a little higher level than he's experienced in the past. And from talking to him and his parents in the process, and even since, you know, playing in the NCAA tournament was a big reason why he made the change that he did. He wanted to have that experience, and I think he understood that because of moving up a level, that, you know, maybe his numbers wouldn't be as glossy as they were in his previous 3 seasons. And it's one of those things in life where, you know, it's easy to say, but a little more difficult when you're actually going through it, because he's been used to basically being either the leading scorer or one of the leading scorers, and that's an adjustment for everybody to make. And he's not the only one, you know, college basketball that's been going through it, but he's definitely hit the reset button. You can see it with his approach and practice, and happy for him. You know, certainly he's not happy about, you know, the end result, but hopefully it's something that he'll continue doing. We're just a better team when we got him and a couple other guys that are making baskets for us.
We'll go to Sam, and then to Danny P, and then David.
Is there something at all with this particular group of players and team you have, you think that, you know, a beneficial trait or strength that you can go into a tournament like this where you play a game every single day to possibly make a run and win the tournament?
Yeah, I don't know. They're resilient. They, from what I see and hear, and the time I get to spend with them, you know, they got a good vibe. You know, they like each other. You know, we're all human, and when things don't go the way we want them for us individually, unfortunately, especially for young people, you know, it stunts them a little bit. You know, it gets them off track. And we've had some of that, like I'm sure every team has had some of that, but in the middle of games when we're all, you know, trying to achieve one singular goal at that time, which is to win, you know, that's popped up, you know, here and there throughout the season. And we're certainly trying to learn and grow from that and avoid those situations. But like I've said all along, I've not lost any faith in this group. We're disappointed with some of the results that we've had down the stretch, but what everyone doesn't see is their attitude when they get back to work, when they get back together, when they get back on the practice court. And I don't think they've lost any confidence in what we're doing. I don't think they've lost any confidence in themselves or our team, and now we just got to go prove it.
Coach, how satisfied was it for you to see that Josh and Cameron Matthews made all SEC? Two of your leaders of your team were recognized in that way.
Yeah, both very deserving in their own rights. Certainly, like you said, happy for each of them and their families to be recognized for the awards and honors that they received today. It doesn't surprise me. I don't think it probably surprised anyone in the room that both of them were acknowledged for their play this season. And you know, it's always fun at the end of the year to see, you know, the teams, and I think it's a little bit different format this year than it's been in the past with the 3 teams of 5 instead of having 2 teams with 7 or 8. But that time, it's just that time of the year.
Conference tournaments for all sports is kind of an unusual challenge, especially those that they know they're headed to the NCAA tournament. What are your ambitions to use this week, looking even beyond Nashville, or is Nashville just an end in itself?
Win games. Win games. That's the mantra. That's the goal. And win as many games as we can. Does that mean we're playing on Sunday? Hope so. But we want to just focus on LSU and winning that basketball game. And then we'll have plenty of time to prepare to win, the next game against Missouri if we're successful in the first game. But, it's tried and true, and, we're going to focus on what we can control. And right now, that's our preparation for LSU, and just to get that feeling back. We need that feeling back. We lost in overtime to Texas, and then go down to Arkansas and lose, and the ball's in the air and the buzzer goes off, and those are hard. You win those games, and the mood and the vibe and the feel is completely different. And that's just the way, this game is. I've been on both sides of it where you get a bounce or a shot, and it changes everything by how you're perceived, by how you feel, by how others around you feel. And my job is to make sure that that it doesn't just rip our hearts out, that it doesn't make us not believe in who we are and what we've done. And I feel good about where we're at going in. I don't feel good about some of the results, don't get me wrong, but you can't sit in it too long. You just can't. As much as maybe my personality is to bemoan it and be upset about it, I wouldn't be doing my team any favors by continuing to dwell on it and keep bringing it up. They know. We've had our discussions in film, and we finished practice today before we head down to Nashville tonight, and we had a great focused practice, and that's exactly what I expected us to have.
Go to Jacob to coach's right.
Coach, this year you haven't played many teams twice. How different is it preparing for a team in the second matchup opposed to the first, especially when you won the first matchup?
It's nice, to be honest with you. That was our third last regular season game of the year, so it's very familiar with all of us, and there'll be tweaks made since we played, and I'm sure there'll be some tweaks that we haven't seen as the game unfolds on Wednesday. But it is nice. I would imagine they feel the same way of not having to start over from scratch, especially since we played them so recently, in terms of just the time sensitivity and the amount that you have to spend, going, like Missouri would be a little bit different, if we get to that point, because it's been so long since we played them.